Solving for a variable in terms of other variables using addition or subtraction, basic. All right. Sorry, dropped my pen here. Okay. So what we want to do in this case is we're going to either use addition or subtraction to solve for the equation. So we end up with y minus 16 equals b. And it's asking us to solve for a specific variable, one of them. So in this case, it's asking us to solve for y. Whatever you want to solve for is what you want to get by itself. So in this case, we do have two variables. So hopefully that's not too confusing because you want to focus on whichever one they're asking you to focus on. So they're asking us to focus on y, so that's why we're going to get y by itself. In order to get y by itself, it's the same rules as before. We're going to take whatever's being done to it and do the opposite because we want to undo it. So in this case, it's y minus 16. So to undo a minus, I need a plus. So instead of taking 16 away, I'm going to add 16 to both sides. And by sides, I mean the equal sign. So I have plus 16 plus 16. And then y comes down. I haven't done anything with y, so it's going to come down. But now I have negative 16 plus 16. Well, one's negative, one's positive. It's the same number, so they cancel. So it becomes 0. So just y is left on this left side. Now I have equal sign that gets brought down, and I have b plus 16. So I'm literally just going to write b plus 16. I don't know what b is. B is kind of a placeholder. It can be anything that we need it to be later. So this is the beginnings of how to manipulate an equation so that we can get it to equal a variable that we want it to equal. And this becomes very important, especially as we move higher up in math. All right, so we're going to go ahead and clear and try this out. Okay, so we have r equals y minus x. Now we have 3 variables here. So we do need to make sure we're paying attention which variable they're asking us to solve for. So asking us to solve for y, which means we want to get y all by itself on one side of the equation. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to give you a line here. So this line, remember, that line has to do with the sides of the equation. We have a left side and we have a right side. All right, so in order to get y by itself, I have to undo whatever's being done to it. So in this case, I'm subtracting x. So to undo subtraction, I'm going to add that same number. Even though x is a letter, a variable represents a number. We just don't know what the number is yet. So if I add x to the right side, I have to add x to the left side. And then for this one, I have r plus x. I can't actually put them together. I can't say rx. I have to say r plus x. I don't know what r is. I don't know what x is. So I'm just going to say r plus x. And when we figure out what r is, we can plug it in. When we figure out what x is, we can plug that in. In this case, they're not asking us to go that far, just to write it down. We haven't done anything with y, so that definitely just drops down. And then we have x and x. We have a negative and a positive. Any number, it doesn't matter if it's a variable or a number. Variables are numbers. They're just unknown numbers. So we have a negative and a positive of the same number. It cancels to become 1. 0, because we're adding. It becomes 1 if we're multiplying or dividing. That was just my silly mistake in words there. So we're going to say y equals r plus x. And if you notice, I had it down here, r plus x equals y, and then we typed it in the answers, y equals r plus x. That does not matter. This means the same thing. I can flip this around so that I have y on this side and r plus x on that side. I can kind of literally do this little swap thing. It means the exact same thing. All right, so let's go ahead and click check. And next. All right, so we have y minus 18 equals x. So what do we want to solve for? We want to solve for y. So this is what we're trying to get by itself. And remember, we have 2 sides of the equation here. So we want to undo whatever's being done to y. In this case, we're subtracting 18. So we want to add 18 to both sides of the equal sign. All right. So now y comes down. We haven't done anything to that. We have negative 18 plus 18. It's the same number, but they are opposites. One's negative, one's positive. So they cancel to become 0. And this equals x plus 18. So we literally just put them in a sentence like that, x plus 18. I can't actually combine them yet because I don't know what x is, so that wouldn't be possible to actually combine them yet. X plus 18, check. Clear, and one more. P equals 12 plus A. All right, so remember we have two sides of the equal sign here, and we are trying to get A by itself this time. So we're trying to get A all by itself. If we were trying to get B all by itself, hey, that'd be cool because it's already done for us. But in this case, we're trying to get A all by itself. So we need to undo whatever is being done to A. And be careful when you look at this one, you see this plus sign, and most students will say, oh, it's being added. This plus sign belongs to the A. Always look in front of the number you're planning to move. So in this case, it is being added. It is a positive 12. But just be careful with that one because the sign that's in front of it is what belongs to it, not behind it. So if I'm adding 12, then I have to subtract 12 to undo that addition. So on this side, I end up with B minus 12 equals, and now we have 12 minus 12. One's positive, one's negative, same number. They cancel, become 0. And we just bring A straight down. So, and again, this says A equals. So A is on the wrong side, but I can very easily just swap it and just rewrite it. So I literally just switch their places. So it's A equals B minus 12. B minus 12 equals A. Means the exact same thing. So we can just type in B minus 12 and check. All right, we finished another one.